Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Gordon Maston, and this is yes, it's Monday, and I'm doing this. Uh, we're here for a Raw review for May the 23rd, 2016, and I'm going to explain this now. I don't know how long this is going to last with me doing these. What I do know for a fact is WWE tends to cool down around, I don't know, fall. So, this could just be like a rest of spring, summer thing. But you know what? From here on out until further notice, the Raw reviews are back. And you know what? Tonight was a pretty solid show. It was a pretty good Raw. And you know what? I can't wait to talk about it. So you know what? Let's get into the show. All right, people, give me 1 second. All right, and we are good to go. Now you're just gonna see my face in about 5, 4, 3, 2. All right. So we're gonna jump right into tonight's show. We get the usual opening promo. Nothing's changed since I've stopped reviewing Raw. We get the opening promo. We had that 1 week where the New Day opened up Raw in a tag team championship match against the League of Nations. That was one thing that happened, and which led to the New Day's eventual face turn. Which we'll get to the New Day later tonight because we do have Seth Rollins opening the show. And actually, if you want to be completely poignant and direct about how we open this show exactly, we open this show exactly with oh my goodness, I'm sorry, people. I'm sorry for just blowing anybody. With the recap of what happened from last night's Night of Champions after AJ Styles lost. Excuse me here. After AJ Styles lost. And we see the whole Seth Rollins thing that happened last night, and honestly, I'm just sitting here like, yes, you are covering it. You are you're not just gonna have Shane and Stephanie come out, talk about the Money in the Bank qualifying matches for tonight, and then we eventually get to Seth at the end of the night, and he'll do the same thing again from last night, or we'll get him in the middle of the show, and Roman will chase him off, and it'll just lead to that. And they totally could have did that here. They totally could have did that. That's what would have happened in the time where I wasn't reviewing Raw, or why I wouldn't review Raw, because they wouldn't capitalize on the hot moment or the hot situation from last night. I'm glad they capitalized on Seth's momentum, immediately, kick us off, Seth's music, and then the question looms: is he a face? Is he a heel? We get that question answered. He gets in the ring, he's like, it sounds like you guys missed me, and then he's basically he runs it down as his oh, you guys miss me now, but, when I was in the hospital, I was getting all these tweets, I got flowers, I got get well messages, and at the end of the day, I don't need you, I don't need your support, I don't need anything that you people offer me, because there's only one person allowed on the Seth Rollins bandwagon, and that is me. And those were his words, but they did receive him very well. They were welcome back chants. They would give him Rollins chants. They gave him everything. They received him like a god. Now, with that being said, I seen a meme earlier that put this out there perfectly. It said, the only way you can make Seth Rollins a heel is if he shoots a puppy. Some people are so some people are so they're just some people are just such sadists that in these situations, Seth Rollins shooting a dog, they would still cheer him. And this is crazy to me, dude. I even thought there's no way Seth can be a heel. They're definitely gonna work with Roman full-fledged, make this man complete. But you know what? They didn't do that. They didn't go there. Because Roman comes out, and even after Seth cut a savage, like a complete savage, badass heel promo, Roman Reigns comes out and still gets booed louder, dude. Like, you're not getting Seth over. It's gonna be. I want to say it's gonna be as hard. It's gonna be as hard for you to get Seth over as a heel as it is to get Roman over as a face, because people are gonna want to receive him with cheers, and that just doesn't happen. And you know, tonight's crowd was Baltimore, Maryland. I mean, they're okay. They're not New York. They're not Chicago. They're not Philly. They're not Boston. They're not Pittsburgh. They're not any of those smart-leveled cities. But at the same time, they are like a notch below that. They're one of those lower-level smart cities where, like, I mean, that's probably a bad way to really look at it. But like, I mean, I look at the places that Ring of Honor goes most. And like I see, like those are their biggest niche smart crowds, and I know that's like a tenth of, that's like 5% maybe. That's probably like a abysmal 5% of 15,000 people that come to the arenas that WWE sells out. But like, they went to Baltimore tonight, and it may have just been because Seth was back and people were excited about what happened, and no one likes Roman Reigns. But I mean, Seth Rollins got well received tonight, and it was awesome. Yeah, but like I was saying before, Roman Reigns comes out, and he basically, Seth basically knows Roman wants to fight because he got pedigreed, and you know, he's like, yeah, I know how Roman works. Yeah, I was in the Shield with him. He gets it. He understands what's going on, and he gets ready to fight. And then Roman steps in the ring. Seth steps out the ring. Nah, dude, this isn't happening. Not on your time. This is not on Roman Reigns time. This is not on Roman Reigns time. This is on Seth Rollins' time. That's the championship I never lost. And yeah, I mean, and he just started to go on and talk about. And in this promo, I forgot to mention where he started talking about how he never lost the championship. And like, yes, while that is true, Seth, it just feels like, and I don't know, like I just feel like I'm conditioned to this, like. Whenever we have hope in something or someone, it just means nothing, because it feels like maybe in the eventual ending of this, Seth Rollins gets fed to Roman Reigns, and maybe that's the thing that happens. But at the same time, it's just, I don't want to believe that. I don't want to believe in that happening. Okay, but what do you call it? Shane McMahon comes out after this when Seth's walking away and says, hey, Seth, he's like, great to have you. Like, he basically tells him, great to have you back. I want to have you in this ring and have a mature conversation. He's like, now, you never did lose that World Heavyweight Championship. So at the same time, what I want to do is I want to make the main event for our next pay-per-view, Money in the Bank, in 4 weeks in Las Vegas, Nevada. And he says the main event will be Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. So it's set. Seth is extremely happy, and we're all good to go. So, alright, next we get Sami Zayn versus Sheamus, number one contenders match. Not number one contenders match. I'm sorry, Sami Zayn versus Sheamus, Money in the Bank qualifying match. And I mean, like they did eventually mention the Money in the Bank matches, and I'm not gonna like mention them in the order they mentioned them, but I'll just say Zayn, Sheamus, Cesaro, Miz, Zayn, Sheamus, Cesaro, Miz, Owens and AJ, Ambrose and Ziggler, and that was what happened there. Like that's basically where they went with that. So they did like lay down a whole slate of matches that were supposed to go on. They have 2 qualifying spots left, which we'll figure out on SmackDown. And let's get into this, man. Zayn versus Sheamus. And I mean, this was pretty much an average match. I enjoyed it for Sami Zayn. I was just thinking, wow, Sami Zayn's such a nice guy. He always gets screwed over in life. Even in the situation of all the people who got set up for Money in the Bank qualifying matches tonight, he even got screwed over in quality of opponent with Sheamus. I mean, I can understand. Never mind. Okay, here's what I can say. You wouldn't at least like Sheamus works and like okay, like in this match, like it's not like it was bad by any means, but it I really was taken out of it by the fact that it was Sheamus. Like if Sheamus is doing nothing, or Sheamus isn't hot at the moment, or it's just like if it's just like randomly, oh, it's Sheamus. And you know what? I can't believe I'm saying this right now, but if it was Del Rio, maybe I'd be a little happier. Like the quality of match is up a little bit, maybe, but it's still fucking Alberto Del Rio. But like maybe the quality of match is better because I'll even admit sometimes that Del Rio will come out of nowhere with just like instant good matches, and that may just I don't know what that is. The guy's a good worker. Just man, just yeah. But I mean, we're gonna move on here. Then, actually, no. We're gonna move through the match. Then eventually does win with the haluva kick, but Sheamus makes a fatal mistake, walks into the corner at the wrong time of the match, positioned himself wrong. Sammy realizes, capitalizes, hits the haluva kick, 1, 2, 3. And after the match, they focus on Sheamus a little more, after Sammy, when they normally focus on Sammy as he's walking out, celebrating, then eventually head backstage, tell us what's coming up, or go to commercial. And so they focus in the ring on Sheamus. And he's visibly upset. Like, he's just not happy, dude. He's not having it. And since that's the case, Sheamus walks in. Well, he not walks in, but Sheamus just visibly upset. Then they tell us what we're going to have for tonight after this. Okay. Up next, we get The New Day, who come out to the ring with a cake. Now, they say it's basically like the 1,200th episode of Raw. So it's the birthday of Monday Night Raw. And the New Day says, happy birthday, Monday Night Raw. And then they're like, you know what, but cakes and wrestling rings never really work out. So we're going to take this out of the ring and then come back and talk. And then Big E, the New Day start teasing people maybe he'll throw just don't trip and get the cake on somebody in the crowd. Don't throw the cake on the little kid. I'm gonna get you. The New Day. The perfect way to put it for them is they are just so aware of what works. Like last night, with Big E saying, "I got hose" and stuff like that, or what do you call any of the other little things they've done, like the New Day DeLorean and everything, which was pretty cool itself. Everything, man. I mean, but still, Big E saying he had hose was pretty fucking hilarious. Okay. But yeah. During this, they say maybe we can throw the kick on JBL. Like, no, JBL, please, no. And someone, I think it was Cole, and see, they're supposed to low key not like each other, but they've grown to accept each other at commentary. And I get that's the dynamic between those two. I could care less. I'd rather have Phillips and Graves and not even Phillips. I'm sorry, Ronaldo, Graves, and maybe Lawler there because he's the next best suitable guy who can fit there, and Mauro Ranallo and Jerry Lawler play off each other great. Especially if Lawler's a heel, which he will be in that situation. But yeah, point being, they go to Byron Saxton, maybe throw it on Saxton, JBL and Cole are sitting there both, yeah, throw it on Byron, yeah, throw the cake on Byron. I hate Byron Saxton. Everybody hates Byron Saxton. It's just no, Byron, no one likes you, dude. Okay. Now, as we move forward, the Social Outcasts come out and attack New Day in the ring while Big E's outside with the cake, tries to get back in, and then he gets attacked and knocked down. We go to commercial, come back, and we have an impromptu 6-man tag. Well, it's not really impromptu. It's impromptu coming up from commercial as far as we knew, because this match was already scheduled to happen, because they told us before the commercial break. The New Day will be facing the Social Outcast up next. And dude, if they really prepared a Social Outcast attack on the New Day, I was just thinking they're going to find some cheeky way to win, but then I remembered Adam Rose suspended, so the playing field is actually equal, and it's a 6-man match. So I'm that's for one thing, is okay, they're not going to win, but then maybe they'll find some other screwy way to win. And then we'll have to wait for the pay-per-view for the New Day to face the Social Outcast for the tag team championships. I'm sorry, for your WWE World Tag Team Championships. champion chips. Boy, oh boy, I love that. Okay, so I mean, honestly, the match ends, with the New Day finish with the big ending and the giant, the okay, Kofi will do the beginning off the top rope, and Kofi will come down London. What I didn't like about this match was Xavier Woods with the plancha outside the ring. I really did appreciate that they're letting Xavier do a plancha. But yeah, I did believe they did win with with that move. All right. And after the match, the New Day, Big E goes outside after the match, the New Day goes outside the ring. Big E, that cake, only Big E grabs a handful of that cake, and then Xavier's like, no, put it down, man. I put it down. They're like, yeah. I love the New Day, dude. I love the New Day. Big E goes outside the ring, grabs the cake, and says, no, Xavier tells him, go get Heath. And he's like, yeah, we're gonna toss the cake at Heath. And then they grab Heath by the back of the head, and then Big E comes over with the cake. And the first one they come to Big E, like, come here, sucker, and just right. Oh my god, dude. It's gonna be a sad day. When it eventually comes time that the New Day has to break up, when that day and time comes, everybody's just kind of if I even go back to the table for 3 episodes they had, Kofi said he may even just retire. Speaking of Kofi, I love and this man's been watching his PWG because he's using the Trevor Lee Devil Stomp for one. Just the double stomp to the chest, which also, if you haven't seen any of my videos in my WWE 2K16 my career, you would know that double stomp is my finish. But he's been using that a little bit as of recent, and he's also tonight used something that isn't really used in the WWE, and it's not like it's that hard a move. It's like a jumping Rana. You jump up, grab the person with your legs, and throw them down Hurricane Rana. You don't even climb the top rope. I want to call it an advanced Rana, but that would seem too generic. It's just I don't know, man. A vertical Rana, something like that. I don't know, man. Vertical Frankenstein, however you want to have it preferred. But up next, we got another Money in the Bank qualifying match, and it was Cesaro versus The Miz. And, Cesaro, he does win this match. He wins this match with the neutralizer, or as Michael Cole's calling it up, the Gotch neutralizer. It's really a Gotch-style neutralizer, but, it is what it is. And Michael Cole's, I'm not going to say Michael Cole's trying to get names right, because he's obviously not. Because whenever AJ Styles does the Oshi Garoshi, nowadays, you hear more with all, and AJ Styles with an Oshi Garoshi, and then you get Michael Cole and AJ Styles with a knee in the back of the head. There's such a difference, dude. It's not even funny. Just, Somebody's gonna say Michael Cole's really trying here, but you know what? My point was, he's calling it a Gotch neutralizer now, and I'm pretty sure I haven't heard Ronaldo do it in a while because I haven't really watched SmackDown in a couple of weeks, and I've tried to recondition myself to it. I realize it's not going to happen. If I know it's on, I know it's on. If I'm in the house to watch it, I'm in the house to watch it. I'm not, I'm not. And that's also coupled with the fact that anytime I can watch it, because my streaming websites that I have, they bring it up the day before it's on, and the day before it's on, it's Wednesday, so I may not be reviewing NXT for the meanwhile, but I'm watching it. I may not be I'm reviewing Lucha Underground, and then after that, it's not that I don't want to watch any more wrestling. It's just okay, it's this thing. After you watch Lucha Underground, people, you really don't you're on this high for a couple of hours where it's just for hours and you don't even just want to go and watch NXT. You just watch Lucha Underground and you're it's so great. And then you go to NXT and it's fuck, dude, come on. it's like, yeah, like this is a great show, but I can't watch it now, and I don't know if I'll be be watching NXT now. Like I don't want to spoil what I already started and what's already going on. So, I mean, there you go with that, and I mean, my point here was Cesaro versus Miz. Cesaro does one with the gotcha neutralizer. Not a bad match overall. It really wasn't. Like it had its moments, especially. Can I just say though too, like when I said it had its moments, like my favorite move of Cesaro's. It's not the swing. It's not the Swiss death. It's just the beautiful form this man gets out of a springboard uppercut, like a springboard 360 uppercut. Like it's just beautiful. This man is 6'6", 230 or something like that, 240, and he can, well, 230 I think. I'm between like 225 and 230, like 230 and 235 at the most for Cesaro. And he can lunge off the ropes in a 360 motion, come back around and whack you with an European uppercut. The man is a freak. Cesaro is an absolute freak. My favorite move, if they would let him do it in WWE, which he obviously hasn't, and he's like teased a variation of it, would be the UFO spin that he does. Like you already see the swing that he does. Just imagine that, and like in Nikki Bella rack attack form, like just a person's wrapped on your head, and then you start spinning them like an airplane spin, and then eventually you keep going, and like it's like you do the same counters that like the fans do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in rotation, but the difference is eventually Cesaro lets go. And he's either done, I can't remember, he either did that or the swing in 100 rotations at one point in the Independence in Ring of Honor, I think. In Ring of Honor or Chikara. Okay. Now, after this match, oh, by the way, if I didn't mention already, which was another Money in the Bank qualifier, and Cesaro did get the win, we get Chris Jericho and Apollo Crews. But before I get to Jericho and Apollo Crews, because I didn't have this in my notes, because I accidentally skipped it, and look, people, I took, like, instead of just writing it down in, like, text form, I wrote down actual notes and took them to my phone. I don't even think those are viewable right now, but I had notes! But Apollo Crews, Apollo Crews was in the back having an interview with Renee Young, and he was being asked about Jericho. He was saying this is his biggest match yet, blah, 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 all the generics, and Sheamus comes up and attacks him and says, I'm sick of hearing about the new era. If I hear about the new era again, whoever steps up from the new era, I'll take them out. Because, Sheamus is frustrated. And this led me to believe, like, this 110%, like, last week I was thinking, maybe we'll get this, but this 110% led me to believe that, and I may be wrong, and it wouldn't shock me, so maybe not 110%, maybe I'm now about 75, 80 at best, 80% sure at this point that we're going to get a stable of old veterans like Sheamus, Jericho, Miz, and a heel Ziggler, like, after next week. Yeah, exactly. Like, and this is going to help, too, like, eventually we'll get to that later in the night. But Sheamus, at this moment, I'll just say, we'll get a stable of veterans who have been on the main roster for a while, and, who have been on the show for a while, and, when they're on, mostly, it's not as good, and it's just like an average Raw, it's just like a blech Raw, it's just, we'll get a bunch of them teaming against, like, this new era of talent, like the babyface version of this new era of talent, and, again, like, and they'll go in a match against each other. And I don't know, maybe Triple H will come back and eventually lead those new guys, and Shane will lead, not new guys, the older guys, and Triple H will lead the veterans of the roster. Which is just completely backwards to me if you obviously know how NXT came about. But you know what? It is what it is, man. But I'll get to the whole Ziggler part of it and how that even kind of confirms it a little bit later in the night. But yeah, we get, and after like Apollo got attacked and everything, he still has a match with Jericho. He competes in the match with Jericho, and screw commentary, dude. Like, you don't even mention, and if they did, someone comment and tell me please, but you don't even mention the fact that Apollo Crews was attacked by Sheamus, by a guy in Jericho, who they mentioned why his injuries were there and how sore he should be feeling and how much he's not 100%, was facing Apollo Crews in this match. They mentioned that, but they didn't like re-mention to anybody who was just watching. Like they were probably tuning in, like, oh, well, earlier in the night, Apollo Crews on top, but didn't even go as far as to show the footage. They didn't even replay the footage after it happened later, like how they usually would. Like the protection of Apollo Crews was 0 to no fucks given. Like that's what it was. And, like the match was okay. Like it was pretty decent. I don't want to say it's pretty decent, but I mean there was one little spot that like made me just, oh, what the fuck just happened? Like, and I stepped away from my TV for 1 second, so I couldn't even see. By the way, this is the Money in the Bank qualifier as well. I couldn't even see. I think Jericho won with a code breaker, but like Jericho went for a lion salt. Apollo Crews kicked up, and I don't even know if he was supposed to or not, but he got kneed in the head after that. 1-2 kick out. Like that just looked the most awkward of botchiness of awkward botchiness. Like it was just gross, dude. But you know what? They didn't even go as far as to protect Apollo. The loss hurts. At least I'll give Apollo this. As hurt as he was, they could have just said he tapped out and just like completely just like to fuck you, Apollo. But no, he got taken out with the pin with code breaker. I can at least respect that. But this loss kind of does hurt Apollo Crews, considering that Chris Jericho does put most of the younger talent over. And if Jericho wasn't going to put him over, fine. You want Jericho Money in the Bank, fine. But they basically just... Dude, it was frustrating. I'll be honest, it was frustrating. But you know what? It is what it is. And Jericho gets the win. Okay, so up next we get Colin Cassidy versus Bubba Ray. And I'm just sitting here thinking, when's Enzo coming back, dude? Like, it's just... Like, when is Enzo coming back? They said he was cleared. He seems to be cleared. And then Cass comes out. And then Enzo comes out alongside with him. You know, there's a whole, I'm Enzo Morris, certified G, bonafide stud, can't teach that. Big Cass, 7 feet tall, can't teach that. Bada boom, realest guys in the room, how you doing? And then... you know, Enzo basically said, I didn't pay my electric bill. He's like, you know, old Enzo didn't pay his electric bill. So, you know, this rope over here took my lights out. And I took me to the emergency room, and they said I had a concussion. So once again, I'll say this. If I had 0 dimes for every time me and Big Cass got beat up and didn't get back up, or me and Cass got, you know, we fought and didn't get back up. Which one is it? I forgot. What am I supposed to say? I got 0 dimes! It just like does the I love that bit, dude. I forgot how we called Bubba and Diva, and he's like, you know, like, well, you know what? Apparently we have to meet up tonight with Bubba in Devon, or something like that. Something similar to that or around that. I don't really remember. I apologize for my reconciled memory, but I know Cass does eventually beat Bubba with the Empire Elbow. It was a fun match. Nothing really special. But like my favorite part of the match was, you know, Devon attacking Enzo and then Enzo just getting thrown. like the best double team maneuvers for Enzo and Cass. Like, no, not even the best. Every double team maneuver for Enzo and Cass. Cass is so big, Enzo is so small. Cass is so powerful, Enzo is just so energetic and fast, and like, because every move they have, it's a tag team move. Enzo gets thrown somewhere. Enzo gets thrown off the top rope for a crossbody. Enzo gets thrown off the ropes for the splash that ends the match. Enzo gets launched over the top rope to knock 2 guys out. Enzo gets thrown everywhere, and it's always effective. It's effective. It's effective. It's effective, and I absolutely love it. Now, I really do. I enjoy that. Okay, but Cass is going to get the win over Devon with the Empire Elbow, and that was pretty much it for the match. Okay, so up next we have... Oh, man. You know, I'll just talk about this first before I get to that, just so I can avoid getting to that. We get 2 vignettes here. One for the Shining Stars, basically saying, you've seen us, you've seen how great we are, you've seen this, da-da-da. Come to Puerto Rico, the Shining Star of the Caribbean, you know, like the usual thing they do. And, I mean, honest thoughts on the Shining Stars is they're not over. they honestly, Primo and Epico, I don't know how many more chances you can get. I don't know how much repackaging you can get. You know, Matadors, you were just generic Puerto Rican guys with a sexy Rosa Mendez who was dancing around, which is probably the only reason, honestly, you even coming out to the ring. To be completely honest with you, you know, all that stuff. But I mean, we'll see where this goes. I mean, I can honestly crap on it all I want now. Like, oh, Shining Stars, blah, 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 not a fan, yada, yada. Well, let's see. Like, the New Day started out not over. Then it instantly got over thanks to the next WrestleMania crowd. But I don't think, like, a crowd will save this act. I don't know, dude. It's too early to judge. I'm a fair person. I will honestly admit when I'm wrong or when I'm right. I mean, and honestly, now it's too early for judgment. But if I'm judging by the reaction they got last week, it was dead. I mean, they looked legit in the ring, but other than that, it was dead. Okay, now I can't avoid it. It's just this was Charlotte explaining herself, and like I should be mad at this. I really should, because it's like it got built up all night as State of the Women's Championship. Like, Charlotte is going to talk about the State of the Women's Championship. And she comes out, and then she talks about how last night she won the match thanks to Dana Brooke and thanks to Rick. You know, the fans start booing her. They start going boring. She's like, you know what, you're not... And, like, Rick goes on this diatribe, too, you know, explaining, like, how proud he is, like he always does, and how much he loves his daughter and his baby girl and all that crap. And then we get Charlotte telling her father how she just was abandoned and everything, and he was the dirtiest player in the game. Now he's second. He means nothing to her now. He's dead to her. Like, all this other just like, and like, it's not okay. Like, and the way I'm saying it, like, cool. Like, the way I'm saying it's like cool. It doesn't sound as bad. Charlotte dumped Rick. It's like that's what we all wanted. Yes, but just, dude, if Charlotte can't learn subtlety in promo, it's like every word is sitting here spouting like this. It's just like, dude, shut up. Just fuck up, dude. Just stop talking. Like, you... Like I said, I'm glad she got rid of Flair. Don't get me wrong. I'm glad she got rid of Ric Flair. Like, that was awesome. But the promo was just super bad. Like, you weren't gonna, like, even, like... They just went... They were so quick to get rid of Rick. Like, did the man have health issues or something? They just say, okay, we need to drop this ASAP. Is like there's something wrong that we need to know about. Like, we'll probably find out about in the next few days. You'll just see on like Wrestling Inc. PW Insight or something like that. It just says, oh well, Ric Flair is recently suffering from Ric Flair is suffering from, I don't know, some kind of old people type of thing. I don't even really doesn't even really meant to make a joke. And like she just like Charlotte. Speaking of diatribe, Charlotte went on a long, just. Really just, what were the words I used here? Super long, boring. It was awkward at some points too. Like, just like this, like seems like one of those things where they say in kayfabe, "Can we settle this in the back?" Or one of those personal things where it's like, okay, this is getting a little too. This isn't even about wrestling anymore. This is about Charlotte feeling abandoned by her father as a child. Like, she was talking about that kind of stuff and like how Mom said Dad would always be there for you, but he wasn't. He was on the road, and if I wanted him to be there for me, I had to watch his matches and talk to him through like a TV or something. That might be even going overboard with that last part, but at the same time, it just felt just so long, drawn out, and oh goodness. But you know what? We're gonna get through that. Rick is gone. I might as well get to it now. He got interviewed, and he didn't even want to say anything. He muttered something to Renee. By the way, drunk Flair as per usual. But he muttered something to Renee, walked out, and then we got Dean Ambrose versus Dolph Ziggler in a qualifying match. Ambrose eventually does go on to get the win with Dirty Deeds, but actually no. Before that match, we had Dolph Ziggler and Baron Corbin. Baron was being interviewed by JoJo. JoJo JoJo said, what did JoJo say? She basically asked Corbin, like, why did he choose to win the way he won last night? Corbin said, basically because he can, and, like, no one can stop him from doing whatever he wants. And then Ziggler said, oh, well, you can't beat me in a actual wrestling match. You can't beat me in a technical wrestling match. Like, technical wrestling match. He's like, I'm not like some kid who came to, like, said, I want to come to WWE and, have a dream about doing this, da-da-da. He's like, he basically said he's here to make money. Like, to sum it up in the short form, that's what Baron Corbin said. I'm here to make money. And, like, that is why, like, I feel Baron Corbin is due for a mid-card title run, but he can't be IC champ, and he can't be IC champ, he can't be US champ, because both those championships have already been dealt out. Like, Corbin with a championship would just seem like so perfect, because he would be one of the few guys, and I know he would, who will put over the fact that I'm a champion, so it gets me more money. I'm a champion, so it gets me more fame. I'm a champion, so it gets me more, like, endorsement. Like, it's just, like, little stuff like that. And you probably don't get endorsement deals as, like, a mid-card champion. Or you probably don't get endorsement deals in WWE at all, because WWE is lame like that. But something around that nature of something. I don't know, man. But you know what? That's where we move on. Ambrose versus Ziggler. Oh, this is what I was saying. Like, new era guys. Like, Ziggler loses to Corbin again next week. Like, because Corbin and Ziggler are set to face next week because Corbin accepted Ziggler's little challenge, and he said, "Okay, you want to see a technical wrestling match? Just watch what I do tonight." And Dolph, you kind of lost tonight, so you're not really proving you're not really proving much to Corbin. But you know what? Dolph's been losing a lot lately. Hopefully, he loses to Corbin again next week, and just he snaps and he's the next one to turn, and we just get this awkward little stable of guys like Dolph, Miz, Dolph, Miz, Zayn, not Dolph, Miz, Zayn, Dolph, Miz, Sheamus, and just like maybe even Ryder and a bunch of disgruntled workers who are basically like mad that these new guys are coming in, like, to steal a South Park reference, taking their jobs. But yeah, taking their jobs and shit like that. But we'll see what happens with this. But yeah, man. I mean, Dolph eventually does go and lose to Dean tonight, and Dean advances after the qualifying match for Money in the Bank. Up next, we get AJ Styles versus the Club. I mean, not versus the Club, I'm sorry. AJ Styles versus Kevin Owens. And before we do that, the Club comes out while AJ's talking, and they get upset. AJ said he lost because of the Club and the Usos, and AJ's taking his frustration out on the Club. And the Club basically says, hold on, man. He's like, well, you didn't lose because of us. If it wasn't because of us, you wouldn't have walked out of some of the... Actually, let me get to what AJ said first. They're like, he's like, I lost because he was like, because of us. He's like, the things that we did, basically, it led us to having beers. And, like, he's like, I'm sorry. AJ basically said we would have had a beer or two with Punky. And then that's when Gallows and Anderson said, oh, yeah. He's like, yeah, we would have had a beer with Punky. But, if it weren't for us, you wouldn't have got out of some of the bar fights alive that you would have been in. If it weren't for us, you wouldn't have made it to Extreme Rules. If it weren't for us, like, they basically start telling AJ he's ungrateful at this point. And he says, you know what? Working relationship, business relationship-wise, we're done working together. Like, this is not a thing anymore. But we're still friends. He's like, and we're still brothers. He's like, how dare you call us brothers and try and dump us off like that. So they're basically butthurt. And AJ doesn't make it any better by saying, fine, if we're not friends anymore, then this is my ring. Fine, get out of it. Like, just... AJ, you're setting yourself up, man. I mean, you're the good guy, but I kind of feel bad for the Club here, dude. You kind of dumped them a bit aggressively, and they were just hurt, man. I mean, they were just completely hurt by what you did. Okay. But... anyways, we move on here, and after this was AJ Styles versus Kevin Owens, which was the match of the night, no fucking doubt there. Kevin Owens eventually did go and had a powerbomb on the stairs in this match. Kevin Owens is talking crap to Michael Cole. He hit an awesome 450 from like halfway across the ring in this match, and like this is what I wanted to tweet. At 38 years old, AJ Styles can still hit a 450 with distance like that. And like, can I say too, AJ Styles last week had to take some time off house shows. I don't even think he did SmackDown. I think he didn't do SmackDown. And he's been having lingering back issues since before the G1 Climax or at G1 Climax time last year for New Japan Pro Wrestling. And with that, like some of the bumps that he's been taking recently against Roman, against Kevin Owens tonight, they just look gruesome. Like that part where it's just like, dude, you don't have to do this. Like, you really don't have to do this. And last night, I'm just thinking it's a result that, like, I really rethought him. Like, maybe Vince is like, you're going to do your best to go out there and make Roman look good, dude. And tonight, he just takes the power bomb on the stairs from Kevin Owens. I'm like, oh my god, like, this man's going to break his freaking back. Emma just had back surgery that's going to keep her until 2017. Hopefully that's not AJ next. He's having lingering back issues. And anytime AJ starts to take a bump on that back, I just get worried. I get so worried, man. But this was the final qualifying match of the night. And AJ goes for the phenomenal form at one point in this match. Kevin Owens kicks him off the ropes, throws him off, and hits him with the pop-up powerbomb. And Kevin Owens goes on to get the win in this match, and he fields the final spot in Money in the Bank. So what we have tonight, qualifying-wise, and from what I believe is Chris Jericho, Dean Ambrose, Kevin Owens, and Sami Zayn. And if I missed any, I apologize. But we have a couple more to be filled on SmackDown, and matches that they said we'll get for SmackDown are Miz and Cesaro for the Intercontinental Championship rematch. Which the problem I have with that is Miz had to beat Cesaro one more. Well, not Miz. I really don't have a problem with that. I really don't have a problem with that. I'm sorry. Cesaro beat Miz, so like maybe and Miz came out on two losing ends of this. One, he has to put his title on the line on SmackDown on Thursday. Two, he has to fight Cesaro again. So he already lost the contendership. I mean, he already lost the qualifier. He could lose his title next. And we'll get the Kalisto Rusev rematch on SmackDown. And that's what they've really mentioned here. Anyways, what we have here next, I think it is... Oh, yeah, this is what I was going to say. I teased this on Twitter. So, I don't really do, like, my fantasy bookings on here that I really think of throughout time. I was, along with my buddy John from Twitwell, saying... but you can go check them out on the Eon Izzle YouTube channel. They'll have a Raw review up tonight as well. They cover NXT, Lucha Underground, and that's pretty much about it. They did SmackDown stuff at one point, but they realized it wasn't as substantial a show. Like it wasn't like a huge show to really like review anymore. They tried, making it feel special again because WWE tried making it feel special again, but it just turned out it was a new announcer on a show that covered that didn't have much storyline progression, but they at least try things now, and it's still not working really. But Ian Izzle's YouTube channel, he's huge for Kevin Owens, dude. But I am too, and this is where I get conflicted because I was saying at first, like I was agreeing all the time, like yes, Kevin Owens for Money in the Bank 2016, KO for Money in the Bank 2016, KO 2K16, people, the year of KO, summer of KO, whatever you want to call it, just fucking Kevin Owens, people. But after tonight, and then seeing the situation that went down last night, Kevin Owens, I want him to win Money in the Bank. But see, Dean Ambrose, and as you guys can see here again, another Dean Ambrose shirt. If Dean Ambrose faces Seth Rollins at one point, and I guess Roman Reigns, it's the Shield. Like it's the original faction that they built. The Shield is money. And I can see, and eventually, you already know they're gonna go down the route of Zayn and Owens at one point with that championship, and I would love it more than anything. But I can see more money in the Shield as a collective unit facing off in a bunch of matches: Rollins versus Reigns, Ambrose versus Reigns, Ambrose versus Rollins versus Reigns, WrestleMania, SummerSlam, wherever it would need to happen, Battleground, wherever it happens. There's money in all of that, and I am just chomping at the bit to see the Shield fight each other. And I think the WWE kind of notices that because they even brought it up on commentary tonight, like saying, "Oh, well, the Shield, Ambrose won. So what happens if he gets involved with the Shield brethren? The other two are in a match, and what if he wins the championship that night? It's blah blah blah." And we already know the logical rules of wrestling are you basically get a rematch, for some stuff like this. Like it's just like if Ambrose would have come in, and let's say Roman Reigns would have win, or let's say Seth Rollins would have win. If Ambrose would have come in, attack Seth Rollins and beat him for the championship. Roman Reigns gets his rematch. Seth Rollins is already entitled to the rematch. Triple threat. Boom. There you go. And, you know, I mean, I would love that, dude. I'd love that. But you know what? There we are. There we are. That's honestly my opinion. Sami Zayn, not Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, Money in the Bank, that has like limitless possibilities. Sami Zayn, like, and they even ran it down after the match was over tonight with Owens and AJ. All the rivalries and everybody who's in Money in the Bank that don't like each other, just to make it like a more like anticipated Money in the Bank, so they can within the next few weeks run with the rivalries they've had, but make it more intriguing because it's Money in the Bank and it's that much bigger. And they can do like pick your poison matches and all that crap. Like, and I'm saying pick your poison. I don't even know if they'll even do something like that. But like they can just match up the competitors and like, oh, this match is big because of their Money in the Bank and it's to gain momentum and everything. But I mean, I'm excited, dude. But you know what? I've drawn on for long enough, and you know that was Raw. So you know, I hope you guys did enjoy my return for Raw review. Thank you guys very much for watching. If you did enjoy this, remember to leave a like on this video. If you already haven't, subscribe if you're not subscribed. At least if you feel inclined. And thank you guys for watching. I do appreciate it. Like I said, like, comment, subscribe, all that junk. Thank you very much, and I am out of here. Out of here. See you!